Holy crap, guys. First of all, I just want to say this movie looks freaking amazing. It is probably one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen. Well, one of the very small lists that I have right now. But that's all I'm going to say for right now. First, we have to do what we got to do, and that is, let's roll the intro.
Hi, I'm Albert.
Hi, I'm Danny.
Hi, I'm Jazz.
Hi, I'm Toby.
Welcome to Gamer State.
Hey yo, what is going on, you guys? It's Toby here from Gamer's Tag, and today we are reviewing The Hateful Eight. And holy crap, I gotta say, like I said before in the beginning of the video, this movie is freaking beautiful, man. Everything is just so well shot. It is truly amazing, the work of Quentin Tarantino. So far, I like all his movies. The last movie I just saw recently was actually was Reservoir Dogs, and I think I'm gonna make slight comparisons from that movie to this movie. So let us first begin with the actors and actresses. Holy crap, they are all amazing. Everyone in this movie does an amazing job with it. Freaking Kurt Russell did a great job being this kind of hard-ass asshole, but has to do his job type of guy. And you know, I liked his character. I liked the way his character came across to the audience. Now, Samuel L. Jackson also did an amazing job. You know, his character to me kind of seemed like, you know, he's a serious type of person, but he also brought some of the major humor that was in this movie. Now, it might not come across as, you know, normal, I guess, type of humor, I guess would be the best way to describe it. It's kind of a little bit of cruel humor and a little bit of dry humor. For me, it worked. For a lot of people, it might not. But I found what a lot of Samuel L. Jackson was saying throughout this movie, I felt like it made me chuckle, it made me kind of smirk. So overall, I liked this character as well. The actress in this movie, again, you're gonna see me say this, well, for this time only. She did a great job. She was amazing. The best way I can put her character is that she was playing a character that was supposed to be like, you know, prisoned, like a prisoner. And normally when people play those type of characters, they kind of close off their character and they don't really show their whole character as a whole. Now, she did a fantastic job. Even though she did play the prisoner role, she still seemed like, even though she was chained up, she still felt free to express herself, and she did a great job. She was a bitch. She was such a badass, and she was ruthless. She was a ruthless bitch. That's the best way I can describe her character. And she did a great job. Phenomenal. Quentin Tarantino knows how to put a cast together, and this whole cast was great. Don't want to go into every single one because this video would be way too long, but everyone did a great job in this movie. Now, let's talk about some of the sound scores and the music in this movie. Now, in the early credits, in the beginning of this movie, they pretty much make a little statement, kind of goes by a little bit quick, but they say that this is original music, and when I was listening to the scores and the music that was in this movie, other than there was some music that was played by some of the characters in the movie, I noticed that a lot of the musical scores were phenomenal. They were great scores. Especially, they seemed very well synced with the movie and what it was going for. It was a great musical achievement by the crew. Now, let us talk about the plot of this movie. Now, it starts off with Kurt Russell taking his prisoner to Red Rock. Now, who knows where the hell Red Rock is? I don't know where the fuck it's at in this story, but apparently it is far. So Kurt Russell ends up meeting Samuel L. Jackson, and they end up meeting another character in this movie a little bit later down on the road, and they end up getting stuck in a blizzard where they are stuck in this little, like, I guess kind of like an inn, and this is where pretty much the whole movie takes place, and the setting is great. The atmosphere is great. There is a bit of a feud where it's like old Confederacy, and the Northerners are kind of like, they're not necessarily at it in this movie because it's been many years past where those events took place, but there's a little bit of I want to say there's like a strain between certain characters in this movie, and they're kind of at odds with each other, and to me it's a little bit of a subplot, but I feel like it still works in this movie. It's still a great thing in this movie, especially since they try to use it against certain characters in the movie. I'm not gonna tell you guys everything that happened in this movie, but I still like that part of it. The biggest thing about this movie is obviously it's kind of a mystery type of movie, and this is where I kind of have a slight problem with it, is that the mystery, it begins when Kurt Russell kind of meets Samuel L. Jackson, but it's not really kind of at there. It's not really in your face. It's kind of subtle, and it kind of lingers through the background of the movie, and nothing spells mystery until they get to this inn, and even then it's still kind of subtle. You still don't know who's doing what their intentions are per se, but when shit starts hitting the fan, the full aspect of this a mystery actually takes place. Now, I will say that the best way to describe this movie is kind of like playing a game of Clue. That's what this movie kind of is to me. And it also kind of is like in the movie Reservoir Dogs, where it's a group of people. They're trying to find out who's doing this crazy shit that's going on in this movie. And unlike in Reservoir Dogs, where it's kind of like jumping back and forth between the timeline, this movie is a little bit more straightforward. But I will talk about that a little bit later. This is where the problem I have with this is that when shit starts hitting the fan, it kind of progresses a little bit too fast, and it doesn't let the mystery settle in. It kind of moves a little bit quickly through it. I want to say, from the time when shit starts hitting the fan to when it's all kind of coming to a head and it's already going to be towards the end of the movie, it kind of takes place about 20 minutes. It's a 20-minute span of where the mystery of it is actually in your face, and that's it, because it kind of gets resolved really quickly. And then afterwards, this is where Quentin Tarantino kind of does Tarantino things and goes back in time to earlier events in the movie. It doesn't jump between different characters. It's more straightforward, and it just tells you what happened earlier that day to explain the things that are happening now. But it's a Tarantino movie. You have to expect that. This is not a spoiler or anything for anyone who knows Tarantino movies. Now, the last thing is the ending. The ending of this movie, I think it is by far a sweet ending to this movie. It is by far a heartwarming type of ending, if you can kind of see it in that light. But it's also a very bittersweet ending. And I feel like some of the characters in this movie, I'm not going to say who they are, but in the end of the movie, it's kind of a little bit touching to see that even though they were at odds with each other throughout the movie, they seemed to finally resolve everything at the end of the movie. And I feel like, you know what? That's the best way this movie could have ended, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. So now, in conclusion, wrapping this whole thing up, I gotta say, this movie is beautifully shot. It is an amazing movie. Every scene, every cutaway just seems perfect. It's just so well shot. The landscape, where it's like everything is just so far spread apart, it's so amazing and it's so beautiful. The acting, it's phenomenal. Everyone did an amazing job. Freaking, the musical scores in this movie were great. The atmosphere, the story was still really good. However, the aspect of it being a mystery seemed it was a bit quick, and it didn't last very long. But the ending was most certainly the best way for this movie to end. And for that, I have to give this movie a 10 out of 10. I highly recommend you guys go check this movie out. This movie, it's a great way to end 2015, and I'm glad that I got to see it before 2016 gets it going. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, by all means, hit that like button. Subscribe to our channel if you're not already. And just before we end this video, guys, I want to thank all of you for being on our journey through 2015. We reviewed a lot of things, talked about a lot of things in this year, and I hope you guys are along for the ride in 2016 in our next journey with more movies, more games, and more reviews heading your way. I'm Toby here from Gamersteak, and I'll see you guys in the next year and in the next video. Peace.